What's the deal with the fasting window that keto people do? Hi, in case you don't know who I am Slick Nick, your personal keto bro. And no, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, a nutritionist, a personal trainer, nothing like that. I'm just some random guy in Tennessee who's decided this year I'm going to try to get to 17% body fat as I have fully adopted keto. Last year in 2020, I joined a gym February, so it's been a year now. But I was focused on the whole protein thing, getting, your body weight, like at the time was 178 pounds, trying to match that with grams of protein. Well, now I weigh a lot less. I'm somewhere around 156 pounds. And instead of focusing on protein, I'm focusing on fat. This is my research. I'm researching myself, so people have to say, you should do your research. Yeah, bruh, this is my research right here. You're watching it, you're participating by making yourself an audience member in this. So I want to talk about fasting. In case you haven't heard my whole theory about the 5 pillars of being keto, check the video right there. I will explain the 5 pillars, but the first one is filling up on fat and fiber, but the second one is about fasting. So ultimately what happens when you go keto, it's just part of it. You're going to realize, wait, the whole concept is that I'm turning off my ability to store fat. So if I don't trigger insulin for the majority of the day, I won't be storing fat. I make it impossible scientifically to store fat. And yeah, that would be pretty epic if I could do that. Well, that's exactly what we do with keto. So the concept is, how long can you be awake without spiking your insulin, without triggering the insulin? How long can you make it? So for me, in theory, the answer is 2 p.m. I know yesterday it was like 4 o'clock, the day before that was 5. I mean, there are definitely days like that where I don't really trigger my insulin till the very end of the day. But like today, I was right on time. 2 o'clock is pretty average for me. I usually don't trigger it before then. Usually it's at least 2 o'clock. I wouldn't even say 2 o'clock is my average. I'd say my average is probably closer to 3. But most days, most reoccurring is, as far as the schedule goes, 2 o'clock in the afternoon is the first time my insulin is really going to be triggered enough to store any fat. So here's my window. This is just how it ended up, but it's the 19-5 window. So for 19 hours of the day, my insulin is not being spiked. I'm not spiking my insulin during that time, but there's a 5-hour window where basically it can get spiked and does. And that's between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. So during that time, I'm eating protein. Protein does cause your insulin to go up some. Let's pretend the bottom of the screen would be the bar, okay? And here's the top. Here's like if you drink a soda or something, okay? So this is bro science. I'm not a doctor, but this is how this works, the bro science of it. So let's go through my day and I'll show you how this works, okay? So wake up at 5:30 a.m. I drink, where's my water? I usually drink something like a half of this. This is half of a gallon. So I'm drinking like a quarter of a gallon of water when I wake up. I also additionally, I put in 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar into about 6 ounces of water, and I drink that down. That's to help further regulate the glucose levels so that when I do finally eat, that it basically causes even less insulin to rise by a third is the concept. So then I have some black coffee with MCT oil. And that is ultimately to give my brain fuel, is what that's for. Let me grab this real quick. Yeah, I got this in the mail yesterday, Men's Health. I was reading this today, actually, here on Healthy Food, Healthier Brain. And it says right here, it says, despite only weighing about 3 pounds, the human brain consumes nearly 20% of the calories you eat each day. Check that out. So 20% of your calories go to your brain. 20%, a fifth of the calories you consume go to your brain. And so, that's one of the pillars of being keto, is that you're filling up on fat and fiber. Using fat as fuel, not carbohydrates. And that's the bro science that turns a lot of people away. I've had at least one person so far say they unsubscribed to my channel after I said that I use fat as fuel instead of carbohydrates. So let's go back to it. So we've established that now we're on 6 a.m. I've I had black coffee, and I did have some MCT oil, which is a little over 100 calories, if anything, but I'm not counting calories anymore. I'm focusing on fat intake. So that's fuel for my brain. I'm now going to the gym. I'm going to be there between 45 minutes to an hour of weight training. And then I'm going to come home, and then I'm going to put on some more wintry clothes because I'm going outside no matter what the temperature is. I'm going back out. I'm going to walk between 2 and 3 miles. So, and here, beginning of February, last couple weeks in January, there have been days it's been in the 20s. There's been days it's been snowing. I still went out and I did that, making sure that I'm balancing my cortisol, which is another one of the pillars, which again, if you want to see what the pillars are of keto, the video I made is right there. Just look at the link and watch it. But I'm making sure I'm balancing my cortisol, because even if you did everything right, let's say you do the whole trainer thing and you get enough protein, a gram of protein for every pound that you want to weigh, you did all that, and you were in the caloric deficit and all that. Still though, you having stress in your life causes cortisol to produce belly fat. So you could even be running 10 miles a day. It's not going to get rid of that belly fat. It may produce the belly fat actually. So walking actually counters that instead of running. When you look at the history of the world, people have been walking every day. They haven't been running. Running is a new thing. So running is to burn calories, because cardio burns the calories, but it's keto that actually burns fat. So let's get back to the schedule. So I'm doing my walk, it's like 8 o'clock or whatever by the time I get back. Then around 10, usually closer to 11, I have my keto coffee, which you can look that video up. But my keto coffee is more black coffee, some ghee or some butter, some more coconut oil, some unsweetened cocoa, some cayenne, some cinnamon, and some Himalayan salt. But that, as far as the scale of triggering my insulin, I'd say, maybe if anything. With the overall carbohydrates, maybe from the cocoa or whatever, maybe. It's 3 grams, so I can't imagine that it would do much at all. That keeps me until typically at least 2 o'clock. That's the first time I'm like, okay, I guess I could handle some food. It's not even that my stomach's growling, it's just more so that I'm like, okay, it's time to eat now. So at 2 o'clock, finally, here's what I eat. I have some kimchi, like 2 ounces of kimchi, which is fiber. I'm not really talking about carbs there. Then I have a huge mixing bowl, and you can look up this video, it exists on this channel. I literally have a mixing bowl full of salad, which in itself is probably at least 2 cups of dark leafy greens. In there I have sunflower seeds, I have usually half of an avocado, I have a spoon of olive oil, lots of fats. I have some mushrooms in there, and let's see, that's mainly what I have in my salad. A couple jalapeno slices, salt and pepper, yeah. But that in itself, again, it's not really spiking my insulin, because where's the protein in that? I really was just talking about fat and fiber in that whole thing. Well, after I eat that, then finally here's the insulin spike: 3 eggs. I cook 3 eggs. I leave the yolks runny and the white turns solid or whatever, over easy though it's called. I have that. Finally, because there's some protein in there, some complete protein, my insulin goes to probably like right here. Whereas it stayed like to either nothing or maybe here all day, now it finally gets to about right here, maybe right here, but not even really halfway, because of the protein. Then also, I do some whey protein, that's all just whey, and then I add some coconut butter in there, some chia seeds, some hemp seeds, and a little bit of almond milk that's unsweetened. Put that in a blender and I drink that. That's like a protein/fat bomb. No, whey specifically does trigger insulin as part of whey protein too. So maybe if it was here because of the eggs, now maybe it goes to right here because of the whey protein. And then I don't eat again until about 5:30. So maybe the insulin slowly starts going back down. But remember, it never really got that high to begin with, okay? Then, now it's dinner time. Now I'm going to eat my half of a sweet potato. I'm gonna eat my 1/3 of a cup of Greek yogurt with a 1/4 cup of blueberries, some walnuts, some coconut chips in there, and then whatever kind of meat it is, like whether it's chicken with maybe some Indian sauce that's heavy in fats, whatever it is, some more animal protein in there. So it's going to spike again, maybe higher than it did before, but see, I'm still not going over 50 grams of carbs a day, between 25 and 50. So even if you compare that to a person drinking a soda, pretty much a person drinking a soda at any time of the day is going to go to the top of the screen. With me, maybe I'm getting this high, but I've kept it at the end of the day, meaning most of the day I was burning either my own body fat or fat that I was consuming. And that's how this works. So for 19 hours, basically my insulin is not spiking and therefore allowing me to store fat. But for 5 hours, it's spiking some. And that's how I do it. That's my personal 19-5 window for intermittent fasting keto. Your comments are right here.